TikTok.
Clock is ticking, time on way. Days are slipping like sand through a gate. Promises vanish in the instant haze. Ramaphosa speaks, but the people pay. Tick tock, the time is gone. Tick tock, what went wrong? Tick tock, we're holding on, but the jobs are gone, the trust is torn. Tick tock, the time is gone. Tick tock, what went wrong? Tick tock, we're holding on, but the jobs are gone, the trust is torn. Trip to China, shaking hands in the east, while the west stays ghost like a vanished feast. Smoke and mirrors, truth in disguise. Calmly shadows dance under blood red skies. Where's the hope? Where's the kiss? Why's the struggle hanging in the air? Tick tock, the time is gone. Tick tock, what went wrong? Tick tock, we're holding on, but the jobs are gone, the trust is torn. Tick tock, the time is gone. Tick tock, what went wrong? Tick tock, we're holding on, but the jobs are gone, the trust is torn.
Hey, Amarencia from Zerost. What's going on there? Welcome back, everybody. TikTok, the time is gone. Ramaphosa has furthered away all but the last couple days. Today was the 28th of July, 2025. It's already the 29th in South Africa. 29:31. 3 days. TikTok, the clock is ticking. And shocking news out of South Africa, but not so shocking when you understand that the Democratic Alliance is part and parcel of the African National Congress's government of national evil. The government of national evil, Emma Powell, has resigned. She's resigned from her role in the Democratic Alliance. Did you know that, folks? Yes, evil wins again. Evil wins again. Arctic is applauding that Emma Powell has resigned? Wow. Why are you applauding? Because she's resigned. Is that why you're applauding? Or are you applauding TikTok, the time is up? Oh, okay, because she got sacked, it's going to fall. Yeah, she resigns as DA's international relations spokesperson after careful reflection. This party is a joke, an absolute joke. Well, I'm great that you weren't impressed with her, Arctic, but it's not the question whether you're impressed with her or not. It's a question about why she's gone. She's gone because of propaganda spread by the Citizen and bogus allegations spread by corrupt ANC politicians, and the cowards in the DA fell for it. So she was falsely accused of spreading disinformation, and she's gone. Well, I'm sure her life has been threatened, Maddie. I'm sure it was. I don't doubt that at all. The DA is well, it's time, guys, let's just talk about the DA, okay? Exactly, CB. Why don't they protect her? Because they're part and parcel of the government of national evil. Let's just go ahead and get to the story right now, folks. You ready? We know what the song is. You know what the song is coming, don't you? You know the song is coming. This describes the DA. It's perfect. You guys know exactly what this song is. Unbelievable. So whether you like her or not, whether you're impressed by her or not, that isn't the issue. Just like when I posted the video and people attacked me over reporting that another farm murder happened because I said the government of South Africa may be complicit in crimes against humanity because of their failure to address rural insecurity. And people, oh, did he? Well, I just finished what I'm doing, so I didn't see anything. I'm sure Ronaldo doesn't like her, so I'd be surprised what he had to say. I will do a video on it tonight, but it's going to have to be a short because I can't sit here and edit stuff and upload it. It takes too much time. So you guys know what's coming now, right? Here you go. Johnny boy, here you go. This is the DA. Describes him very well.
Blue lights flash, they're out of sync. Promises fade, gone in a blink. Wrong place, wrong time. What's the plan?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Lucy Maimani was heavily criticized for trying to turn the Democratic Alliance into the ANC light. John Steenhuisen has turned the DA into the ANC Junior League. This is the ANC Junior League, also known as Democratic Alliance, under the leadership of John Steenhuisen. Unbelievable. They're a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. Now, this is commentary. This is my commentary. It's my opinion. It's absolutely my opinion, an utter disgrace. And yes, I know about Choppy Stridum. I reported on it, and I was attacked for my video. Obviously, you didn't see my video, or you would have known that I reported on it. I did a video on that, and I was attacked by leftist trolls. Yeah, but what's new? What's new? I'm always getting attacked by leftist trolls. This Emma Powell situation is untenable. Whether you like Emma Powell or you dislike her isn't germane. What matters here, ladies and gentlemen, is that a fake news publication story in The Citizen meant to discredit her because she hit home, because she told the truths, because she acted in the correct fashion, which is untenable for the African National Congress and its junior partner, the junior ANC, also known as the Democratic Alliance leadership. They couldn't cotton that. And so they sacrificial lambed her, like Andrew Whitaker, or Whitfield, excuse me, not Whitaker, Andrew Whitfield, and Ronaldo Cruz, Roman Cabernet. The DA hates its own members. Now, that's a wide range of people. Cabernet is conservative, libertarian. Ronaldo Cruz is center, slightly left of center. Emma Powell is left of center. And Whitfield's in the same area. Unless you're a dyed-in-the-wool communist, pinko trans lover, you cannot be in the DA. It's a party that's really lost it. I know, I got some very nasty comments in the Farm Post. Did you see my responses, Loretta? Did you see my responses? I'm going to put up with these people, these rude bastards. Let's see. Let's see what I did here. That's not it. Smarter and knew the national standards better than the entire Durko. Hence, yep, she was. Yep, absolutely right. That's exactly what's happening here. So Emma Powell, whether you like her or not, was smarter than the entire Durko, and that's why she had to go. And that's why the cowardly jellyfish DA doesn't stand up for her. Now, the DA will come back and say this was a personal decision. She isn't fired from the party, but you can guarantee she's being sidelined, and that's why this happened. This is a party that, you know what's going to happen? The DA is going to splinter. That's what's going to happen here, folks. People are going to splinter from the DA. That's coming. Just a question of when, right? It's going to happen. Just a question of when. Sooner than later. That's the bottom line here, folks. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. Why are these things not lining up properly? Yeah. So one of those idiots commented on my farm murder thing. First off, my farm murder thing was about the government of South Africa. Is it complicit in crimes against humanity? I think it's a fair question because it's ignoring the needs of a segment of its population. And that segment, I didn't say was any particular group of people other than rural people. But the bigots presume that I'm talking about white farmers. And I was. But I'm also talking about black farmers and colored farmers and Indian farmers. That's what I was talking about. The bigots, they can't see past their own hatred and racism. So here's some of the comments from one of the biggest dunderheads that post there. It says, first off, he calls him Mr. Chris. He says, Chris, to go and find that man so that he can legitimize, did you ever bring any refugee from Asia, South America, or African to your show? I said, of course not. The topic is not refugees in America. It is South African refugees in America. How stupid it is to suggest that I have a Rohingya on my program from Myanmar to talk about their experiences as a South African refugee. No, leave them for me to read, Arctic. Yeah. Not on the potty. All right, so of course I'm not going to talk about Asian refugees because the topic is South African refugees in America. He said, you're just overdoing it and it's so boring. I said, apparently it's not. Otherwise, you would not be wasting your time typing your nonsensical comments. So he asked the question, so why is the number not increasing, the number of refugees? Well, I can tell you, folks, that there are more on the way. And I can confirm the arrival of more refugees, and I'll tell you more about that on Thursday, or on Wednesday, all right? I'll let you know about more refugees on Wednesday. The number of South African refugees, well, I said it's increased and continues to do so. Apparently, he doesn't hear very well. He said, you mean the 49 were the ones you guys were talking about all this time? I said, nope. First, it was 59, not 49. Get your facts straight. Next, I've been in contact with over 200 different South African refugee aspirants. And then he said, so they are the only ones who qualify for refugee status. I said, I really hope this sort of logic does not guide your life. Who stated or implied such a thing? Potentially 2.8 million Afrikaners, 2 million whites, 6 million coloreds, and 1.3 million Indians could qualify. He said, Mr. Chris, please find a hobby and stop fooling people. To which I said, apparently I already have a hobby, driving half-wits mad. Driving the half-wits mad, man. Sumri says, I have no idea what the DA is doing. What's their plan? Because surely this must be the road they chase. Yeah, they've lost the plot. Wow. No, the DA has no hope. They're done. They're toast. The DA is responsible for Bella. The DA is responsible for NHI. The DA is responsible for, you like that answer, Mandy? Yeah, apparently I do have a hobby, making half-wits, driving them mad. Bella, expropriation on the compensation, NHI, and the black transformation tax. They're responsible for that. They're part and parcel of it. Supposed to be a party you have trust in, but this, them turning on their own, yep. Folks, it's worse than that, okay? Remember when DA had people who went to Israel? I think Emma Powell was on that trip too, and some others. Remember that? Remember that, guys? Remember that? Well, the DA sent those people there. Did you know that? The party authorized and directed them to go to Israel. And guess what happened to them when they came back after the press found them in Israel? I was last night, news report last night. I did news yesterday on Sunday. How did you miss it? They disciplined the people that they sent to Israel. Publicly disciplined the people they sent there. Yeah, subject them to an internal investigation for why they're in Israel when the party sent them there. This is not a party. It's a racketeering operation. Helen Zilla should be ashamed. She's the federal chair. She needs to control that party. Oh, yes, Raina. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, it is insane. That's what they did. And do you honestly think that Emma Powell went to the States without the DA's permission? Without directions from the DA? Do you really think John Cena doesn't let Emma Powell, a junior member of parliament, go there without the DA's consent? So they're doing it to them again. The DA has not come out and said that either of those troops weren't authorized. Do you notice that? Not publicly, and certainly not to one of the states. Yeah, let the truth be known. Let's expose them for what they are. Yeah, she should be ashamed. It has been infiltrated by soy boys. Look at it, yeah, and they've just destroyed this party. What Musi Maimani couldn't accomplish, they've accomplished. They've destroyed the Democratic Alliance. What was once a great hope for South Africa, a party at least based on performance. Correct, Auntie Felicia. Obviously didn't go to Israel in secret. And she didn't go to the States in secret. She didn't go there unauthorized. Whitfield, I don't know, but I suspect, this is not a statement or a claim, but I suspect, I'm just giving my thoughts. I suspect Andrew Whitfield was told to go there, even though he didn't have permission. I bet the Democratic Alliance told Andrew Whitfield to go there. Now, Democratic Alliance, you can come after me and blame me. I'm not claiming that. I'm just stating I suspect that's what happened. Did you do that? Did you tell Andrew Whitfield to go to America? And then because it blew up in your face, you let him be fired? You notice the DA, when they complained about Andrew Whitfield, they didn't ask for him to be reinstated. They simply asked for ANC members to be suspended. This is a party that you shouldn't trust with anything. They don't have anybody's back. They eat their young. Look what they did to Ronaldo Khus, because they're cowards. Ronaldo's not a racist. He didn't say anything racist. He didn't. The word can be used in an academic sense. That's the law in South Africa. I wouldn't use the word. I find it boorish and low class. But Ronaldo used it to make a point years ago. The DA knew who he was. The DA knew about his podcast. He had gone through repeated screenings. He had been a serving member. So it's perfectly okay for Renault to be a ward counselor and for people to say things about him. But when he becomes a member of parliament, the cowards, the jellyfish in the DA, back down. How many more examples do you need that this is a party that's for self-aggrandizement, self-enrichment, craving political power? They're no different than the African National Congress. No different than the African National Congress. The trolls what? The trolls don't want the truth to come out. Also not vote for the DA again. Yep. And Ramon, I mentioned Ramon. Roman, excuse me. Yep. This is pathetic. This is the latest. I mean, look, Arctic is impressed by Emma Powell. I don't know if you've had interactions with Emma Powell. I've had interactions with her because I interviewed her in the past. Yeah. Anyway, and obviously not everything I talk about is on air. Some things are not allowed to be shared. So, back to this thing here. Hang on, Anti-Floyd. From August, nothing good. I expect to see jobs disappear like crazy. So also, what happened to the party since they joined us? So many years of building a great reputation, one election, and boom. No, Raina, they already lost people long before that, but this just sealed the deal. Yep. So he also said this. So he said, Mr. Chris, find a hobby and stop fooling people. To which I said, apparently I already have a hobby, driving half-wits mad. He said, so the 49 are victims of genocide. Now, this is my response to that. And there we have it. The entirely made-up leftist canard, red herring, white genocide gets mentioned. Not by a rational actor like me, but by the leftists playing their whataboutism. I didn't say anything about a white genocide. He comes on my channel, posts a comment, and uses the term white genocide, something I don't use. You see how the left perpetuates a narrative that they generated? These are the amateur Bell Pottingers of South Africa. That's who these clowns are. Now, here's the other thing. This is my response. I said, none of these 59 refugees are victims of genocide. If they were victims of genocide, they would be dead. They would be dead. Freaking morons. Look, I'm playing a battle. I'm fighting a battle not with half-wits, with dim-wits. Are these 49 victims of genocide? No, genius. They would be dead if they were genocided. Good God. The level of stupidity is beyond belief. Beyond belief. I said all 59 are victims of unjust racial discrimination or have legitimate fear of future persecution. Are they? That's the dumbest thing I've heard this week. Are they victims of genocide? No, because they would be dead. You morons. Here's your side. Seriously. Come on, man. How stupid are these people? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. They are turncoats. Finally got water again, but once again, it's like milk. Oh, I don't have to be impressed by her. The job she did is better than ANC. Yeah, but I knew she was going against grain. It wouldn't last long. Yeah, you're right, Arctic. Mohammed, I used to vote for the DA. They used to be great job in Cape Town. I'm sorry, the only part left that fight the right way for all people is Freedom Front Plus. Yeah, I think a lot of people, the Freedom Front Plus better be ready for growth. They better have talented leaders. They better have some Indians, some coloreds, some black South Africans who are ready to step up as leaders for that party, because they are going to see a surge in voting in the next poll. They are. My husband, like you, now works in a government department. Yesterday he got an email from HR. Seems that male, he may lose his work because of bogus BS. Oh, right. All right. I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds like they're doing all kinds of things to get rid of people. That's terrible. Bot farms don't pay well. USAID money got. Yeah, look at all these people going to Freedom Front Plus. Yep. There's somebody in the hallway. Everyone who thinks things are going to get better once CR on the ANC's got his dream. We don't have true leaders. Yeah, you don't. I mean, look, in some respects, I'm a better South African leader than most of what you got. At least I'm honest with the people. I give them the right advice. I point them in the right direction. We even fundraise for people. We've delivered more governance for South Africans on this channel than the ANC has in Zayrust. I mean, honestly, folks, we've delivered more governance. We've helped people out who are in a bind medically. We help people out who've been robbed. We've helped people out who need to fix things and fix their bucky. We've done more than counselors do for the ANC for the. I'm sorry. I'm just calling it like it is. Oh my goodness. We're in for a coalition government that will be as stable as a bunch of crack addicts in Amsterdam. Oh my goodness. Jacqueline Langton. Hey, what's up, Jacqueline Langton? What are you doing in here? What are you doing in here? All right, guys. So you're probably curious about my day with Errol. I was told today that I pronounced it Earl. But I don't say Earl, I said Errol. But I don't pronounce the same way South Africans do, so some South Africans didn't hear me say Earl when they thought I was saying Earl. Earl is different than Errol. Corny did a fantastic interview on the newest channel. What newest channel? What is the newest channel? What are you talking about? The Truth Report? Well, the reason that Freedom Front Plus has no chance is because you're not voting for them, Sumery. If you and 1,000 people say that, then that's what happens. Some people say we must sign board for them. Okay, Jay, you've let the cat out of the bag. I wasn't going to say anything there, so I mean, you kind of made it. You kind of made it obvious who you are. Can I continue? Can I go further, Jay? Can I talk about things with your permission? I might as well just sack South African takeover here. That would be the absolute best thing that can happen. Well, we could send Starship Troopers in, man. Would you like to know more? The mobile infantry made me the man I am. MI's on the scene. Fleet does the flying, MI does the dying. The mobile infantry. Buenos Aires was struck by the aliens. Yes, you may. Okay, folks, we have a refugee in the chat. In case you haven't noticed, Jacqueline Langton, Jay, is Errol's spouse. And she was my host this evening and cooked my dinner, which was quite tasty. But I was chatting a lot, so I wasn't focused on my eating. Thank you very much for that. We didn't have a bribe, but we did have a meal. Got to meet somebody's there walking flip-flops. It's very loud. So so I think she's been here a long time, but I've never seen her in the chat before. So she's in the chat now. So the day started off like this, folks. Send the minions. Send the minions. I love the minions, man. I love them almost as much as I love Pikachu. Starship Troopers. That's right, man. Happy, content. Okay, so that's what I want to say. They say, "Oh, Mohammed, yeah, he looks very happy, well adjusted." And I asked if he had anything that would look, guys. They seem to be very happy. I'm sure they made the right decision for themselves. And I can tell you that more refugees are on the way, as an aside, away from that. But back to this. So this morning, I rocked up at Errol's place, and we went outside. We did a video, which I need to edit, and that'll be posted. You'll probably see it late tomorrow, which will be Wednesday morning for South Africans, because I'm just busy. I'm going to go to bed here in a bit and then get up early because we got to go do another interview. I can do another interview tomorrow. Anyway, so Earl and I stood outside and we talked about baseball. And so that was kind of fun and about going to the game. Then we went over to the swimming pool and we talked about life there and what was going on and difference between the U.S. and South Africa. Then we came back, we did the live stream unannounced. We had 800 people show up for it. That was awesome. And it has 25,000 views. So that's pretty cool. A lot better than the last interview I did with Charles. Much better there. So, yeah. Ingrid saying, pleased to meet. Look at this nice stuff to say for Jay, okay? He looks a kilo or two heavier. Before the DA 2024 elections, DA was shouting to high heaven about all the issues they see, and now punishing anyone that speaks out becomes a distraction. Exactly. Anyone that steals the limelight from Johnny Boy, gone. Yep, gone. Anyway, so I did that. Then I had worked out a deal to go interview these people at a local brewery, which I wanted to promote. It was really cool. You guys would have loved it. I'll probably show you the pictures later on. I did record a short video of it. But they contacted their marketing guy, and he had the information, and they said I was coming in. So I showed up at 10:30 in the morning after having seen Earl and done the interview. And the people at the bar didn't know I was coming. At the brewery didn't know I was coming. So they called the guy, and he said, "Oh, look, I don't really have anybody come over." I said, "It's not a big deal. I mean, there's nobody here. You were closed. There's no music playing. It's perfect. We can do the interview. Don't worry. I'm not going to embarrass you." Well, thank you, Nia Heritage. Heritage. I take it you're in Alabama. Thank you. I haven't been in Alabama in a long time, folks. A long time. My grandfather lived in Birmingham. He used to work up in Huntsville one time. And he was the lead engineer on the Saturn V rocket's tail assembly. Yep. Yep. No, Maddie, not doing an interview with Jay. She's not going to do an interview. I asked, she's not interested, and I'll respect that. Yep, she's not going to do an interview. So I suspect if she ever does one, I might be the person she gives it to, but because this is nice things about her food. But no, she's not doing one. So no one should judge. We don't know how they have been through. Well, also, you know, Earl's in a situation like me. He's got an injury that doesn't allow him to exercise properly. So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's so ease up on people, folks. There. Agreeing with Emmy. So glad you and your family settled nice in the country. Yeah, guys, where they live, lovely area, beautiful area. I will say that the apartment they're living in, the area they live in, is nicer than any place I lived in almost my entire life. Statement of fact. By the way, they live less than 5 kilometers from people who live in multi-million-dollar mansions. Now, they don't live in a multi-million-dollar mansion, but I'm telling you, these are richy rich, Elon Musk-like kind of people. I drove by this house, I'm like drooling. Man, I pulled in to their house, and I had to look at my arm because my skin was turning green with envy. It was crazy, crazy. Anyway. Yeah, Dirk, that number's probably higher now. I ate it, Arctic. I ate it. Oh, the mashed potatoes were tasty too. They had bacon in them. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not going to be shy about playing music because people are standing outside my door talking. So I'm not going to have any problem playing music here. There you go. She's not interested to be in front of the camera, and we'll respect that. We will respect that. All right, here we go. Man in the mirror. Okay, Xavier's taking off. Yeah, so Army 3275 is here, but that wasn't Army 3275 who greeted him. It was Nia. It was Nia Heritage. I don't recognize the name. I'm making you all hungry. You think you're hungry? I'm hungry. It's been a long day. I burned through those calories I ate already. I didn't hide the wuss under the mash. I ate the mash. Nice try. Yeah. So anyway, back. So guys, Jay, if I can, I mean, I don't think you're going to mind. Lovely family, really awesome, well-adjusted. Got to meet more of the family this evening, and kids. The kids were having a blast. It was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Nice people. Really enjoyed it. I enjoyed their company, and it was, you know, it was kind of out of the way. I mean, I was invited to dinner, so I had to drive all the way across from one place to another and then come across. But it was worthwhile because I saw more of the area that I'd never seen before. So it was really nice. You got a cooked dinner. I got leftover fruit tray and cheese. What do you mean you got? Did you visit them, Arctic? Did you visit them? Anyway. Yeah, so look, we've gotten off the DA topic, and that's fine. But I mean, I'm going to have a lot to say about the DA when I make a video here, make a short when we finish this live stream. I'll be making a short about that, and I'm going to talk about it. No, the kids are happy. They're ecstatic. They're having a blast. It was really cool, and they're in a nice spot. It's quiet. It's safe there. It's beautiful. The nature is right there on their doorstep. Yeah, yeah, maybe he is. Maybe I'm not going to say it. Talk about how big he is, but I'm not going to say it. Maybe he swallowed himself. I don't know. Anyway, so tomorrow, I don't know if I'll have a news broadcast. I'll try, but I'm being interviewed tomorrow myself. So, yep. Too late for dinner after work. Emma resigning is another win for the ANC. Exactly, Dirk. It's exactly right, and that's what I'll be talking about. And it's another cowardice move on the part of the DA, not backing her up. I know why she resigned. She was under intense pressure. She was under intense pressure from her own cowards in the DA who have power over her. Yep. Yeah, and that's why she resigned. Yeah. I'm not surprised she resigned. I had a feeling last week she was going to resign. Yep. I'd like to tell about my daughter struggling to get a birth certificate for 9 years because we're white. Well, Chloe, why do we have to DM you? You just told us that. Nia says, I feel so excited for all the refugees that are coming over and the opportunities their kids will have and how this awful situation is turning into blessing. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, this is going to be huge. Already, from this family, I know of 3 people that are working already and contributing and paying taxes. 3 of them already. And they're not, they're not car guards. They're actually making significant contributions to the economy. And they didn't take jobs from someone else. There's jobs that were there, and they all jumped in. So it's a win-win, winner, chicken dinner for the United States, and it's South Africa's loss, and it's all because of the ANC's arrogance and their ineptitude, and it's a disaster. And when South Africa loses its financiers, its bankers, its doctors, its nurses, its teachers, its farmers, its masons, its plumbers, its HVAC technicians, and they come to America and enrich our country because of the ANC's bigotry and stupidity, South Africa's collapse will be complete. Yeah, that's sad. That's truly sad. I don't want to see that. You all need to stay in South Africa, but you can't. A lot of you aren't going to make it. It's terrible. I'm sorry, 4. Sorry, I said 3, didn't I? It's 4. Yeah, 4 working. That's right. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. Yep, that's right. Husband and wife, son, and Errol. Wow, that's right. 4. Okay, so people, ladies and gentlemen, all this stuff about, oh, what will I do? Will there be any jobs? All 4 of them are working. All 4 are working. And the only reason Jay's not working is because she's got school-age children that are home because it's summertime. She's going to work too. Oh, there you go. See, the kids are going to school on the 7th of August, and then they're in school. And then she's going to be working too. Look at that. 5 jobs filled. Yep. And she won't be changing beds. That's not what she's doing. Yep. Yeah, if the FAA hires foreigners to be air traffic controllers, you can bet there'll be Afrikaans-speaking South Africans that will find their way over here. Yep. Madeline says husband's toolmaker. Lots of jobs with that. Mohammed says, my wife is white Afrikaans and the stupid government classify my children as others. Yeah, that's more insulting than the National Party. Mohammed, that's more insulting than the National Party. How can your children be others? That's racist. That's bigotry. That's horrible. Mohammed, I assume you're colored. Is that fair? I mean, I thought you were Indian, but I mean, am I wrong? Are you colored or are you Indian? You don't have to answer the question if you don't want to, man. Yeah. Others. Seriously? Others. And they call the National Party racist. They call the apartheid evil. Oh my goodness. Hey, Marcel. Well, I mean, Marcel, it goes beyond that. You want your daughter to have a future. You also don't want her to be the victim of multiple rapes, carjackings, robberies, knifings. You don't want that. Let's be honest here, folks. This is the secret nobody talks about. The number of South African women that have been raped is off the charts. But the number of white women who've been raped, married women, minors, because they're white, is disgustingly, shockingly high. It's far higher than any other category. And no one talks about it. No one talks about it. Now we have the same thing here. We have rape that takes place. White women are raped because they're white, but it's not anything at all like South Africa. Well, Keith, you're welcome. I hope I'm helping. What is others? What the hell? Yeah, colored and others. That's just stupid. Here's the thing. I had a conversation with someone tonight that I'll be working with tomorrow, and I explained because the person's an American, and when they first heard the term color, they thought, oh, that's a bad word, kind of like using the K word or the N word. It's not. I had explained to the gentleman. He understood, but I had explained in detail. I said, it's an ethnic group that has grown out of the liaisons and the pairings of the Khoi, the San, those from Indonesia and Malaysia, Dutch, French Huguenot, and Germans intermixing. And coloreds are often not easily identifiable by their physical appearance. Their skin color, their cheekbones, their appearance, their hair, and the fact that they mostly speak Afrikaans and they tend to be Dutch Calvinist. They are the original Trekboers. Long before the white guys decided to leave after fighting 5 wars with the Xhosa and they're tired of English, and they said, we're out of here. The Griquas got the hell out. They moved up country. They were the original Trekboers. The Damara, their Rehoboth Basters, all of them. Basters came later though. Actually, that's higher than I believe, Madeline. In most societies, 90% of rapes are never reported. 90%. My nieces were threatened to get raped in our village because the Sangoma told the HIV positive men that they... Yeah, well, that's why they used to rape toddlers. Yeah, kids are extremely resilient and adapt as long as adults are calm. Yeah, greetings from Taiwan. Hey, nice. Hey, what's going on? Taiwan. Are you in Taipei? Has Emma Powell been discussed? Yes, I've talked about Emma Powell, Christopher, and Arda. We talked about it for the first 20 minutes. I will be making a video short on it after this broadcast because I was unaware she had resigned. I had a feeling she would. I didn't share that, but that was my thoughts in my conversation. She never indicated to me, she never gave me an indication she's going to resign, but in my conversations with her trying to coordinate to get another interview over the past week, I got a sense based on the way she was behaving that she was going to resign. A woman's worth is qualified as number of cows and sheep. Exactly, Artie. Yeah, that's exactly right. My daughter and son-in-law are accountants. Okay. No, it's not, Mace. It'll have to be converted. If we have only, each state's different anyway. You have to be qualified in the state you're in. If we have only gone to takeouts about 6 times, kids know it's only treat food once in a while. They would rather eat fruit and drink water anyway. U.S. has problems of their own, but I'm sure it's not as bad. Oh no, who's DeVault? Let's see anybody named DeVault in the chat. Oh, there he is, DeVault. This program is all good and well. I'm waiting for someone to do an interview living in the U.S. telling people that not everything in the U.S. is sunshine and roses. We'll probably be called out now. No, you won't be called out, DeVault. I mean, what are you talking about? So you're waiting? Well, then I guess you don't watch my programming, do you now? Or you wouldn't have made a comment like that. You wouldn't have made a comment like that. I talk at length about the problems in my country. I talk at length about it. And also, DeVault, this is the first interview where anyone's talked about the positive things in person with the refugee. The only other interview done in person was with Charles in Buffalo by the BBC and by Annika Larson here in Birmingham with Errol. And neither one of them talked about the wonderful things that are going on, how wonderful it is here. This is the first human interest, the story I did with him this morning, the broadcast I did with him. So after all the lies and the propaganda and all the bullshit about FEMA tents and you'll be hated, you'll starve to death, you won't get hospital care, there's no all of that. That's all we've heard for 5 months. And the first time that somebody does an interview, you say you're waiting for the one where people say the bad things? Come on, man. I'm not calling you out, but I'm just saying, seriously? Seriously? You're obviously going to watch this program. I've just spent the past 5 years pointing out the shortcomings of my country. But it is way beyond anything South Africa could aspire to be at this point. Way beyond. Oh, you're not in Taipei. Donggang. Okay. Yeah, it's very humid. Taiwan is very humid. Hey, Cheryl. Well, I'm very fair, yes. Huge planes. They're not sending any planes. I'm not wrong. Arctic, I'm not wrong. You just stated what I said. They're going to have to take the test in the state that they're in. So it's going to have to be translated. Maybe I used the wrong verb. I'm not wrong. They can't just come over. They have to take the test to qualify. You just said so. How can you tell me I'm wrong? I just said they're going to have to be qualified in the state they're in. Dude, what are you saying? Okay, Arctic. You know, iced tea, good. Jack Daniels, bad when you're behind the stick. Okay? All right. Proximity alert, proximity alert. Terrain, 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 terrain. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Arctic, pull up, Arctic. so I got on a plane. I got on a plane in Atlanta, right, to come to Birmingham, and the pilot's up front, and he's going through his pre-flight checks, and it comes out. It goes terrain, terrain, terrain. Pull up. I looked at the flight attendant like, well, that's a bad start. We're on the ground, and it's yelling terrain, terrain, terrain. Fortunately, nobody who's terrified of flying was walking with me because the plane is on the ground. It's going terrain, terrain, terrain. I'm like, pull up, pull up. Man, you're thanking Arctic. I said that, and then he told me I was wrong. Oh dear God. Anyway, so Duvall, what problems do you want to know about, man? No, not because the first thing I'm saying that. When I'm saying because I have relatives in South Carolina, so nothing to do with your interviews I've been. Okay, thank you, Duvall. Okay, that's what I'm like. Well, you want to talk about the bad things? We have a government that's in massive debt. We have politicians that are cowards. We have a Congress that's inept and it is sclerosis. We have state legislatures and that have failed to do their job. We have a federal government that spied on its citizens in violation of the Constitution. And we have a corrupt FBI and a former president who committed treason against this country. We've got major problems here. But day-to-day life, the roads work, the bridges work, the tunnels work, the planes work, the air traffic control works, the grocery stores work, the trucking industry works, jobs are plenty. People can make a decent living here. And there's lots of recreational things. You should have seen the parks that I drove by going to Jay's house earlier. Yep. Mohammed's got to go do his car guard job. Sorry to hear that, man. No. I didn't think you were trying to start any BS. That's why I want to make sure you don't think I'm yelling at you, okay? No, I didn't say that. I don't think you're starting BS. But you're not going to get flamed. But that's the first time I've ever focused an interview talking about that specifically. I've asked people in interviews, but not in person like that, so. Well, what you're saying, Artie, is they'd have to go back to school. I'm not saying they have to go back to school. I'm saying they have to be qualified by taking the exam. It's like the bar exam. If you pass the bar in Maryland, you can't practice law in Virginia. You have to go take the bar in Virginia. It's different. If you pass the bar in Maryland, you can't practice in Pennsylvania, and vice versa, unless you take the bar in both places. You have to take the bar in every state and get qualified, meet the standards. And it's like being a teacher. In America, you can't teach and you're done. You have to go back to school every couple of years and retake courses. That's what they require. It's one reason why I'm not a teacher for high school. It's stupid. MN will now dominate the news cycle this week, and people forget about the tariffs. Uh-huh. Thank you, Dirk. That's a good point, which I'll use. Yeah, that's a good point. I wasn't going to mention that, but yeah. Okay. Well, my typing's terrible tonight. And 233 people here, folks, at 5:45 in the morning. That's awesome. That's really good at this hour. So thank you all for being here. Yep, you're right about that, Dirk. You're right about that. Sad to say, Chappies was a close friend of mine. He lives about 5 kilometers from me. We spent Saturday together at church men's conference in Montana. I'm very sorry to hear that, JJT. I'm very sorry to hear that. It's horrible. I mean, this stuff hits so close to home. I mean, I'm not even a South African. I don't live in South Africa, and it's hit close to home for me. It's shocking. So I did a short on that, and I accused the South African government of, I said, when is people going to start looking at whether the South African government's complicit in crimes against humanity? And of course, that brought the black supremacists and racist trolls out to attack me. And then all of them said, well, I mean, let's get the facts. They're claiming that the wife, where was he sleeping? Was she sleeping around? You know what? I don't really care about any of that. And I don't care if the family actually is the one involved in his murder. That's not the point. The point is rural insecurity. So I don't know what happened in that case. It wasn't reported in the media, and that's another reason why this is a problem, because it's not reported in the media. It was only reported in Marola and on a Twitter account, the only place I could find it. And my point wasn't about who did it. My point was about the fact there's a lack of security. And the bigger issue here is there's no deterrence. People murder. White people murder because there's no deterrence. They're not going to get caught. Black people murder because there's no deterrence. The courts don't function. People don't get charged. They don't get in prison, by and large. I'm so sorry to hear that, JJT. That's horrific. That's horrific. Yeah. Relatives in South Carolina. Well, they must like the humidity, man. The pilot on my flight here from South was Australian. He was cracking jokes about safety. It was too funny. What a blast. Yes, some pilots are funny. I mean, like Southwest Airlines, their pilots are hilarious. Interesting regarding qualifications, hence high standard with the American. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. So just because you've gone to dental school or medical school doesn't mean you can automatically go to another state. You have to meet the standards there. Yep. I know there are also issues in other parts of the world, but at least we aren't being forced into extinction. All right, so Arctic was talking about the things he thinks are bad. He thinks the food is bad. No, that's his fault for eating it, at Papa John's, or eating it at, at Jimmy John's, or eating at McDonald's, or eating at, Golden Corral. America has some amazing food. Some of the best restaurants in the world are here. Fantastic food. You just got to eat the right place. You got to have good judgment there. And as far as the food, you can buy all the organic food you want. You don't have to buy stuff that's stuffed full of chemicals. It's just you have to be discerning. No, Mark, I'm not in Alabama for a rugby game. I'm here to interview a refugee. You're a little behind. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I got here Sunday, and I've interviewed Earl Langton, and took him and his wife, Jay, to the Birmingham Barons baseball game last night, the first baseball game ever. That was pretty cool. And then I've got to do an interview with you again tomorrow. I heard that Trump sent a lot of toilet paper to South Africa. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I read once that Liam Neeson was a teacher and he was banned because he disciplined a teenager. I think that's a true story, if I'm not mistaken. What's this? If you got a case number for the cops, keep the hard copy of documentation. Okay. Okay, so but thank you for $5. Gotta go, says Anna Kruger. And let's go. It's 40 round. Thank you for that. Appreciate that as well. Thank you for that. That's cool. We're getting close to 250 people tonight in the first hour. So, all right. So Trump is really avoid Wendy's. Trump is really making it difficult on the trolls. So first off, 3 things that Trump has done that just runs counterintuitive, and they've ignored it or they lie about it. A veterinarian I know wanted to immigrate to USA, and they had to do it an extra year to qualify. And unfortunately, was not successful. The couple are still here. Well, that sucks. He failed. Well, that's terrible. Well, that tells you something. So Trump, 3 things. Number 1, today Trump told Putin, you got 10 or 12 days, and then the tariffs are coming. Then the hammer's coming down. So Trump has grown tired of Putin's intransigence and his lies, and so he's given him 10 to 12 days, and if he doesn't come through, he's done. So that's the first thing. That's interesting. Trump did that. The second thing that Trump did is, despite the lies in the media saying that he's Netanyahu's boy, they keep saying Trump said he doesn't agree with Netanyahu. There is starvation in Gaza. That's massive for Trump to say that. And that means there could be foreign policy coming that will affect Israel, and not in a good way. That's the second thing. Of course, the third thing is back in May when the Oval Office thing happened, and they're still lying about it. I saw them lying at IOL yesterday. And they say that Trump keeps pushing this white genocide narrative, but it wasn't Trump that brought the topic up. It was actually the media. And they asked him, does he still believe in white genocide? To which Trump replied, I'm not convinced of that. And that's all you need to know. That's the truth. So, but they don't want to tell you that. All food trucks are great. Manhattan. So, Arctic, have you been to Manhattan, Arctic? Have you hit the food trucks in Manhattan? They are pretty good. Yep. It's not 4 more days. Today is now the 29th, so 29, 30, 31. I guess the 4th day, yeah, okay. Susie Wiles worked for Netanyahu. Didn't know that. Is it Jermaine? So you've had the food trucks, you don't like them? I think they're very good. I've had some really good meals in New York City. I've had some fantastic meals in DC, in Baltimore. Look, Arctic has a point about the food, DeVault. His point about the food is that, quite frankly, a lot of the restaurants and a lot of the food you get in grocery stores, especially prepared things, the quality is not as good as it should be because it's industrial scale. But you can eat well if you want, if that's your desire. Today I had a terrible lunch, an absolutely terrible lunch. I went to Logan's Roadhouse. I ordered shrimp on skewers and breaded shrimp. The shrimp on the skewers was undercooked. It was disgusting. The rice was okay. The French fries were okay. The corn was good. I didn't eat the biscuits. And then I also ordered coconut shrimp as an add-on and crab cakes. Crab cakes were shit. They were terrible. Absolute disgrace. They even calling them crab cakes. They should take themselves out and horsewhip themselves, which is kind of difficult, but you can still do it, you know. And then, and I spent way too much money on lunch that I shouldn't have. I could have gone to Five Guys and had a tasty, tasty burger and been done with it for 1/3 the price. Berg wins and water shut down. I'm sorry to hear that, Amanda. Irish says, any food when you're hungry. Any port in a storm, right? $70 for a Bacardi and Coke. Where in the world did you get a Bacardi? How does somebody screw up a Bacardi and Coke? Bacardi and Coke is a fantastic drink. Rum and Coke is great, man. Is that David von Essen? You're welcome. Mitten says food is different here, but you'll adapt. Well, yeah, unless you go to Minneapolis and they force you to eat lutefisk. That's disgusting. Or they make you go to Koreatown and eat kimchi. That's disgusting too. Yep. Cracker Barrel is awesome. A lot of people love Cracker Barrel. You like Cracker Barrel? That food's too rich for me. Too rich. Small town local restaurants are great. Absolutely. See, now Arctic is being more balanced in his analysis. I'm being balanced too. There is bad stuff. Not many talents, Colonel. Food critic as well. Yeah. Well, there's a major difference here. I like Papa John's. He doesn't. Yeah. Bacardi Black. I haven't had Bacardi Black. I used to drink rum and Coke all the time when I was a young soldier, man. Go to the NCO club, Bacardi and Coke, man. Let the music play. He won't get away. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. I feel for you. Oh my God, what a great time it was. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. And Shannon, let the music play. One of the best songs ever. Man. Annie Lloyd is a newbie. Welcome, Annie. Where are you from in South Africa, if you don't mind sharing? You don't have to give the town if you don't want. You can give the province. That's fine. I work for Coke and never heard about that Coke before. Huh? You never heard of rum and Coke? So you don't have a problem. Yeah, Sumari, I got you. Well, I don't have money to eat out, not at $50 for lunch. That was insane. Insane. I like local pizzerias, chain store pizza is cock. Yeah, okay. Well, hey, Arctic, have you ever had the pizza, the dollar, well, they used to be dollar slices in Manhattan? Those are good. There's one pizza place, I forget what corner it is, but it's really good. Any new music? Not tonight, David, but we can make one. We can make one about crappy pizza. Or we can make one about the DA sacking everybody. Who's left? Oh, that's it. Who's left? Who's left, Ben? Did we just have a dip in the viewership? We sure did. Wow, where'd everybody go? A minute ago, we we're 240, now we're 220. Must be YouTube playing games. 16 a slice. Man, screw that. St. Positive never. Okay, hang in there, Maddie. My mom taught us eat fish at a seafood restaurant and meat at a meat restaurant. Yeah, well, Logan's is a roadhouse, so maybe I should have eaten, biscuits and gravy. Yeah, we have fantastic farmers markets here. Okay, all right, let me get to Suno. We're going to create a song right now. Let's see how it goes. Who's left? Create. Okay, hang on. All right, what I want to have is, I don't want country. Let's do a pop song. Pop, female vocals. I don't want a synthesizer. Oh, now we're down 217. What's going on? Am I going to work? Okay, let's see what we get now. Where'd everybody go? 218, okay. Mission to work through all the Walmart frozen desserts. Walmart, gross. Jack up. Oh, you're in the same time zone as me now. It's not even 11 o'clock, man. You guys act like you're 1,000 years old. Let's see what happens. All right. Don't know if my question got through. Okay, hang on. Let me go look for that, your question, because let me see what that was. Francis, okay. Second, oh, that's not. I mean, that's Francis. That's not even a good question to ask. I mean, we have every type of vehicle on the planet, and we also have all kinds of dealerships, hundreds of thousands of dealerships all over the country. Depends. I mean, I can go get a good, reliable sedan for $6,000 or $8,000 near me. There's a place that sells them. Used car lot. I can get a truck for $15,000. Pretty good truck. So I mean, it's morning shot. Okay, just got an update from Morning Shot. Okay. Yeah, many people are off to work. I think that's what it is. All right, let's listen to this song, okay? Let's see what we came up with, okay? So who's left? This is in honor of the Democratic Alliance sacking all of its people. So who's left? I don't think I like that.
Who's left to clean this mess today? Who's left to hear the words you say? I saw the broom sweeping names away.
I don't like that at all. That's terrible. That was a waste. That was wasted. That was a waste. Oh, I'll do it. Hang on. All right, I'm gonna try to rock anthem and see how this goes. That was terrible. That's like something out of the freaking 30s. Like Glenn Miller was gonna play that. Mr. Answer, we Sideliners can hang on. Christian Bota, I still love South Africa, but moving here was one of the best decisions my parents and myself made. And the country's not going to get better with the ANC. Christian, I take you here. Are some of the people in the chat refugees or people that just moved over here? Because people keep talking about being American now, and they're definitely South Africans. I'm not doing a gospel song. I think I missed your answer. We Sightlanders, can we tell in the interview we join them because of fear for the future? Why would that even come up? Are they asking you about being a Sightlander? You just tell the truth. There's nothing wrong with Sightlanders. Sightlanders have done nothing wrong. Son told me he loves the hamburgers at Wendy's. Come in, think of it. Until now, it's been 2 years in the U.S. Never complained about food. Arctic is a food person extraordinaire. 24 years ago. No, Christian, but there's a whole bunch of people, not just you. So a whole bunch of people. Don't like dessert. Okay, I feel like a cheesecake is superb. Ugh. I'm here on H2A. 787. You're in H7. Okay, got it. I didn't see your question, Monica, so you didn't miss my answer because I never saw your question. Waiting for the song. Well, I'm going to try a rock anthem now, but I think there's someone next to me, so I really can't play it too loud and disturb them. All right, who's left? Let's see how it sounds. Raw rock, distorted guitars. Okay. Shades of Ozzy.
Who's left? Is anyone left? Democratic Alliance sinking the rest.
It's not going well tonight, folks. None of these are good tonight.
Who's left? Is anyone left? Democratic Alliance sinking the rest. Second folks left, right, storming their chests. Trying to appease the anxious test. Who's left? I ask who's left? Promises crying out, promises bereft. Fake news claims, fake news reigns. DEA falls for it again and again. What are they up to these days? I scream. A shadow of hope or a crumbling dream. Shifting tides, breaking seas. Lost in the noise of their own regime. Is this the plan or just a game? I'm divided, no one to blame.
All right, that one's pretty good. That's a keeper. So let me save that. Who's left? Yeah. Who's left? Cool. That's not who, that's who. It's an H. Okay, there you go. Who's left? All right, I'll save the wave file. This one sounds good. Yeah, hey, Marius, what's up? I wonder where you're at there. I hadn't seen you tonight. Must be up to something. Okay, got it. Okay, let's go back to text. Baron Hendrik Boykes, welcome to you. I have had a few interviews, just waiting for the outcome. So hopefully, once kids are in school, get the call. You will. You'll get it. You'll get it. I'm gonna, you get all these refugees working, man. I'm gonna have to borrow money from them. I have to bum money from them. Fluffy Navel says that's much better. I agree. That first one was terrible. Hey, Peter Wick, what's up? Johan Bodekhuizen's back. When the son of Baconator is good and chicken nuggets. Oh, Ronaldo loves that Baconator thing. He loves that sandwich. Oh, he does. He does. That's a no, says Nicey. It's Suno. I tell people that all the time. BR Alexander, good morning. Second one's what? Better, yes. The only reason I'm not jamming, I have a stupid headache. Sorry you have a headache. Very good. Yep. I just put the coffee and the beans are being ground. Okay. Rage Against the Cancer Machine says, blame the bus driver. Oh, that's a good title for a song. Who's running this political party? Blame the bus driver. That's good. Where the bus driver is synonymous with the party leader. That's good. Went for driver license yesterday, 20 minutes, and I was done with temp inside. That was a pleasant surprise. Joey van Wyk, where did you take a driving test? In South Africa or in America? Long day ahead, going to get more paperwork from bank. Okay. SAS review. Good luck with that, Karen. I know you had much trouble you had for. Good morning, Andre Mostard. How's it going? What an amazing day for those starting the day and night to those going to bed. Yeah, well, for those hitting the bed. You grandparents going to bed at frickin' 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Come on. People showing your age, man. Yeah. Centurion, thank you for Trent. Well, wow, that was quick. And Centurion, that's pretty cool. X posted yesterday, Emma Louise Powell, after careful reflection, have taken a decision to step down. Oh, Fred, where have you been, man? We talked about that for 20 minutes earlier, and I'm making a video when I'm done. Matthew says, take the time to meet with refugees in the U.S. It's helped a lot of people. Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. I want to thank the folks who spent the time with me. I talked about going to another state, and then the people suggested that I come down there and just kind of went quiet. So I think they're just living their lives, but I'll consider doing that. So. Don't be down, Sue Marie. Don't be down. Turn that frown upside down. There you go. Turn the frown upside down. Is there a way of knowing it's them calling? Well, one way, Wayne, is look for the country code. Are you getting spam calls from Kenya? I highly doubt that. Country code is 254. The initial screening is being done now by RSC, which is a subsidiary of Church World Services based out of Indiana. They're a contractor for the U.S. government. They are doing the initial screening, asking questions, setting up interviews, setting up medical, booking your trips. So if you get a 254 country code phone number or phone call, then I'd say odds are pretty good that it's legit. All right? I don't think that's too hard to answer. That's my answer, okay? But that's not foolproof. You could get a phone call from a 27 number because some people are getting called through the MC switchboard. Okay, but that's not the case much anymore. You're welcome, Madeline. What you do, you must have a good rest. Well, when do I get a good rest? I don't know. I haven't had a good rest in ages. Exactly, Arctic. When people are feeling down, remember that it was almost Kamala Harris that was president. They nearly assassinated Trump. Remember that? Yes, I agree. People should vote Freedom Front Plus Party. Yep. Peter Wick, I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about Choppy's stridum? Is that what you're talking about? I covered that. I covered it in Twitter. I posted on Twitter, and I got attacked by racist, and I did a video on it. I got attacked for that, too. Wayne says your knowledge is unbelievable. Well, thank you. I think that someone I talked to tonight was kind of impressed by that, too. It had no idea that I could talk about things I was talking about in the range of different things, yeah. Learned all things in their own time, but it's frustrating when I've got so much done in one day. I have to go back. Yeah, Karen, those people are driving you nuts. Your son is in Louisiana, full-on harvesting at the moment. First year, he's going to harvest cotton. Oh yeah, those combines are huge. They are huge, huge, huge. But the new ones are cool. They've got air conditioning. They've got AM/FM radio, satellite radio in them. They got drink holders. They everything except a bartender serving you. That's the only thing that's missing. Or a Bourmeister sitting in your lap. Auntie Floyd, welcome back. I think you said you came back here. So, Peter, is that what you were talking about that I didn't address? And he says, my partner and I each completed in May with the 6-9 month option. Spec will get our calls anytime November onwards. No, you can get them anytime now, Annie. You get them anytime now. It just depends when they pull your file. The fact that you said 9 months doesn't mean they won't interview before that. Don't make assumptions. Pay attention for the call. Rudolph Skeppers, can we be stopped from leaving by the government if they make a state of emergency and stop all flights? Well, of course they can. Of course, South Africa's a sovereign state. They can prevent you from leaving the country. They can refuse to let you leave the country. That's a prerogative. We have no say over that. None. But the next question is what Momo just asked. How can they stop all commercial flights? That won't last very long. Well, then we simply have people drive to Habarone or to Rehoboth. Jeremy's in from Indonesia. Gary's saying nothing will change till the rapture takes place. I'm actually hungry again. I was kidding earlier, but I'm actually hungry now. I've got nothing to snack on, and there's nothing around here. That sucks. I have to make it till tomorrow morning. Lockdown comes to mind. Well, Rudolph, the whole world was in on that scam. South Africa would be the only one involved in this scam. So it's going to be a little more difficult for them to pull off. Milking my goat. Yeah, I did, Peter. I did. I did a video on the channel. You must have missed it. I did a short. YouTube doesn't promote my shorts very well. So I did a short on it. In fact, let me hang on a second. And I did a Twitter post on it too. And I got roasted for that by a racist. Well, I'm sorry. It didn't go up. It didn't post. Well, no wonder you're confused, Peter. It didn't post. It's not here. Let me refresh this page. Maybe hang on. No, it's not here. What the hell? I'm sorry, there isn't a video here, okay? But I did post it on Twitter. I got roasted there. Oh, that's interesting. Very interesting. I also did a refugee update this afternoon, and that one is not done very well. It's been up for a few hours now. Yeah, so, interesting. Where'd that video go? I'm sorry about that, Peter. I did something on it. It's just not there. My apologies. It may have not loaded. Hopefully it didn't dump it. I'll have to look on my phone and see if it's still there. Anytime I get ready for work, have a great day, all right? People seriously overestimate the SD government. They can't stop themselves eating. Yeah, exactly. The only reason that the lockdown worked is because you all were compliant, like good lemmings. That's why. You were compliant just like good lemmings. I wasn't compliant in Pennsylvania. I didn't wear my mask most of the time. Yeah, I had to when I went to the war college because there's no way I can get around that. But I mean, I didn't wear a mask driving around. I wear my mask in stores. I went whatever store I wanted. Screw them. And they didn't dare bother mess with me. Got my birth certificates Friday. Dad was born 40s. My mom 39 years. Huh? Thanks to the refugee families for taking their time. Yeah, no, I'd send Jay and Earl and their kids. Kids were adorable. So, we had a little fun. I was looking at their daughter, and she reminded me of somebody. I pulled up a picture of myself when I was a little kid. Well, Cheryl, I was also prepared. When most people were losing their minds, except the preppers, they were ready. Most people were losing their minds for toilet paper, paper towels, handy wipes, hand sanitizer. I got a basement full of all this stuff. And guess what? I got a basement full of all this stuff now. Beans, crisp, spices, water. I got pallet loads of water. Got it all, man. Got it all. Yes, and it's not because of the Rona. It's because I'm prepared. Of course it was a scam, Mad Mag. Of course it was a scam. It was a political scam. Absolutely. Absolutely. There was no need to do what they did. This is not the way that one responds to a pandemic. You isolate the vulnerable with physical barriers if possible. You quarantine the infected, and the healthy population goes about its business. You don't shut the world down and destroy the lives of children, stunt their educational growth, destroy the social fabric, bankrupt millions of businesses, costing tens of millions of people their jobs, and set back the world by 3 decades of progress because morons don't understand epidemiology. Yes, it was a scam. You don't think it was a scam? You don't think that governments used the very real pandemic to overreach and to imprison people and test their authority? Oh, please. The evidence is all there. Sweden kept everything open. Taiwan kept everything open. They just closed their borders. And they did fantastic. Just done to control the masses. Yep. I don't know about inflation, but inflation certainly came when Biden became the guy. There you go, Nicey. Thank you. You were in Taiwan during but then the infamous who doesn't recognize. Well, I covered that, Nicey. I covered that because the annual WHO conference was done virtually, and the Chinese communists demanded that Taiwan not participate. But at the time they did that, New Zealand was being touted as the brilliant performance under Mr. Ed, Jacinda Ardern. Because, a horse is a horse, of course, unless, of course, the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Wilbur, Jacinda Ardern. Yeah. So, it says Nicey. You're saying it's Nikki? It's not spelled properly. Sorry, Nikki. So, Jacinda Ardern got all the press. She did a great job. But, folks, I did a famous video on YouTube, and I compared information available to Trump, information available to her for each of their countries and the Rona. And Trump was 2 to 3 weeks ahead of her decisions on every single thing he did. Every single thing that she did, that they praised her for doing, he made 2 weeks or 3 weeks earlier in the information cycle than she did. Yet he was criticized and blamed for it. So the problem Trump had is he should have shut down the Atlantic too. It would never have worked anyway. But if you're going to shut travel down, you got to shut down all travel. And the Americans who came back should have been quarantined. They shouldn't have been allowed to walk in the general population because they lied. People came back with COVID and hid their sniffles and their symptoms and went home and spread the stuff. So Trump did a better job than Jacinda Ardern, but she was praised as a leader. Also, when you compare Taiwan to New Zealand, at the time I did it, Taiwan had 7 fatalities. New Zealand had 21. New Zealand had over 1,200 cases of Rona. Taiwan had 300 cases. Taiwan has a population of 24 million. New Zealand has a population of 4.5 million. So per capita, they had 3 and 4 times as many deaths and sicknesses as Taiwan did. But Taiwan was ostracized because of the Chinese communists. Resigned 1 month before lockdown, had 3 other work officers with better pay, then COVID hit and all the officers off the table. Yep. MREs are very expensive. Huh? Yes, Solomon Crocodile, she is a communist who destroyed New Zealand. And it was an obedience test, Yaku, that's right. Nothing wrong with being a prepper. I didn't say anything wrong with being a prepper, Marius. I'm saying I'm not a prepper, but they were the only ones prepared for this, other than me. Nikki says I'm spot on. Thank you. Roberto Wilco is honest. He said he fell for the BS. Well, many people did. People were terrified, man. People wouldn't distance. They wouldn't go near you. I didn't have a mask on. People moved away from me. But fine. Jump out of line. I'll get in the queue. Jan Fisher, welcome to you. Yes, I know. He's got 4 sons and the oldest is 11. It's horrible. Joey is so cross that I fell for it and didn't know about me. Well, I was here. Now, I had to be careful what I said, but I did expose the stuff as best I could, and I questioned everything. Guys, look, I'm not an epidemiologist, but I have a background in that. As an intelligence professional, that's one of the things I look at. And I've studied every pandemic you can imagine: Spanish influenza, bubonic plague, the hantavirus, West Nile virus, Ebola, Marburg, you name it. I did a video on this early on, and I went through my book collection of like 60 books. They're all on pandemics, epidemics, epidemiology, viruses, virus hunters, CDC, all that stuff. And that's my personal collection. That's not even stuff I did for work. And so this is not how you respond to a pandemic. And I said so at the time. I never got censored by YouTube for that stuff. No, because they couldn't refute it. It was all factual. And the dumbest thing ever was this. In Alabama, right here in Alabama, these people are very devout Christians. Right here in Alabama, at a drive-in movie theater, they held a church service. The minister was on the screen but not present. It was being projected there by Wi-Fi or by internet. So he wasn't even present. The cars with the parishioners came in their cars wearing masks, sitting in one spot with the windows up, and then a spot empty, and then the next one was another car. So they're like 20 feet apart, 6 meters apart, with their windows up, wearing masks. Cops, the sheriff came and threatened to arrest all of them for going to church services. Now that's a violation of the First Amendment. And they got away with it. No one's been punished for that. Look what they did to Kozlowski, the Polish, the guy escaped from communism in Poland, who lives in Alberta, and how the Canadian Mounties attacked that guy. No, I didn't put up with this stuff. Good night, Nia. Cover my boyfriend's own business. He had to start over and study it. He couldn't feel use pension money when I got retrenched to survive. Jeez. Lockdown with societal tests. Yep, the results were astonishing. Yeah, I'll make the video after this, Peter. I'll talk about it. Actually, I know why I'm confused, Peter, because I did make a video. It was a video reply on the X. That's where I put it at. Because I made the point that I was talking about the ineptitude. That's where I did do a video on X. You go to my X account, you'll see that post about it, and then you can find a video from me. No, Fauci wasn't pardoned. That's an illegitimate pardon. It's going to be struck down. But he's 80 some years old. They're not going to do anything. You're welcome, El Marie. My friend died yesterday, and that. I'm so sorry to hear that, Russell. I can't imagine dying in an ANC-run state hospital. That's a horrible thing. Thoughts and condolences to the family. Sue Marie, I'm disappointed to know about your channel during COVID. I was working and studying, no time for other stuff. Well, Sue Marie, also I was shadow banned, as I still am, and they hid it. Malema's got something. Yeah, no, thank you, Arctic. That's a fair statement. I think a lot of people said that. Many people, hundreds of people have told me that I kept people sane with objective things and also try to entertain a little bit. And also we talk to the macadamia nut industry. We talk to musicians. We talk to panel beaters, artists, farmers, beauty salon owners. We talked to everybody possibly could to keep people going. I put so much energy in my channel, and it was so shadow banned. We were having audiences of 50, 75 people. And which is fine, but it's a lot of work, and if nobody discovers your stuff, it's very disappointing. Meanwhile, people who have no qualifications, no skills, and just pontificate get huge crowds. Rudolph found out about that medicine. Well, I didn't touch the stuff. I never got Rona. Never had COVID. Never had it. Fluffy Mabel's brother's business was ruined. People don't always have to have degrees to be knowledgeable. Your knowledge of variety of topics and surpass. Many people enjoy expanding their knowledge without receiving credentials. That's true. Bill Gates never finished college. He's an ass, but he never finished college. Smart guy. He knows how to cheat people. Prep and lived on it when running out of money. Couldn't get a job. Brian never fell for it. Shot rubber bullets at surfers and polluted. Yeah, it is nuts. That's appalling. Looking back at the same officers feel bad treatment. No, they probably don't feel bad. They probably don't feel bad. And they're idiots. They violated the First Amendment of the Constitution. Yeah, it's on X, Peter. So, but this one will be a very different video. No, Krista, it couldn't be called a genocide. It can be called a crime against humanity, but it can't be called a genocide because genocide has a very specific legal definition, and it's recognized around the world. And that's why what's happening in Israel is not a genocide. At least it wasn't until recently. I kept Artie from drinking alone. I couldn't drink. I'd have my schuss beer, and people lost their pants. They lost their shit. They lost their minds. Stats for misleading enough person. Yeah, no, I know. Lots of people. That's a true statement. Gary says until rapture, nothing's changing. Well, that might be true, Gary. That might very well be true. All right, guys. So only 236 likes. Couldn't we do better than that? People are taking off. All right, tomorrow evening I fly home. I won't get home until 11 o'clock. So if I do a late night tomorrow, it's going to be a later night out. It's going to be after midnight probably. Several millions of people lost their sense of smell, Nikki. Yes, Arctic, that's a general definition, but there are specific gates you must go through in order for it to be legally accepted as a genocide. So that's an important distinction. I know the channel's not growing nicely. It's stagnated. Just be 109,417 subscribers. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here, okay? And I'll record these two videos, okay? Who's left? We got one more song tonight. All right, you guys take care. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button. And I don't think I'll be able to do the news tomorrow. The problem is that I have to find a place that has reliable internet, and I have to find a place where it's quiet like this, where I can sit down. But once I check out the hotel, I don't have that. So I can't go to the library and do this, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't sit in the car. You know, at the War College, I usually sit in my car because it's not too hot, and it's the spring and it's the fall. So Awesome program. You're welcome, Andre Mostart. All right, you guys have a good one. If I can figure something out tomorrow, I'll do a news before I fly. Okay. If not, 26. That's not too bad. Okay. You can have a cancer without a history of cancer in your family because you can expose to something that causes your genes to mutate and turn on themselves and attack your body. I was exposed to radiation from Chernobyl, as were hundreds of millions of other people, so I could get cancer from that. Yep. I was also exposed to deadly carcinogens, breathing them in for weeks on end after the war when the Iraqis committed a crime against humanity by burning oil wells, which I slept less than 2 kilometers from every night and was covered in soot. And I breathed that crap in for weeks on end, so I could get cancer because of the mutation that comes as a consequence of that. So you don't have to have a family history of cancer to get cancer. You don't have to be a smoker to get cancer. You don't have to be a smoker to get lung cancer, surprisingly. Candida Oberholtz is saying, good morning. Good morning to you as we wrap up. It was, Nikki. I was there. It was horrible. It was hot. I mean, it was already hot because of where we're at, but it was wintertime, so it was incredibly hot because of those damn fires. Radiation can do it. That's correct. Yeah, I mean, you guys never heard of Spider-Man? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, take care. Have a good one. Appreciate you being here. All right, God bless. We'll catch you later.